I'm Darwin Green, CEO of HighGold. I'm up on site at our Johnson Tract project in Alaska right now, and going to walk you through our story. So, as Joe said, we're focused on high-grade gold in North America. We'll be making forward-looking statements, so take your time with that. So, on a quick overview, I mean, we're a fairly new company. Because of that, we've got a pretty tight and well-organized share structure. We've got 50 million shares issued and outstanding right now. We've got a great roster of shareholders, 35% blue chip institutions. We've got a senior producer that owns a small chunk, and we've got some other well-recognized names. We've got cash in the bank as of the end of August. We had about 21 million Canadian. We've got a experienced and driven management team. You know, we focus on the jurisdictions we know and the deposit types that we know. And Alaska is a place we know well as Ontario. And we're very focused on creating value for our shareholders. And we're focusing on top tier assets. And we believe we're good value. The market cap shown here, 120 million, was at the start of the week. We've had a good response to some news that just came out yesterday. So it's a little higher than that now, but we still think there's a fair bit of upside to the story when you compare ourselves to high-grade drill bit stories focused on North America. There's a collection of companies in the 150 to 200 million market cap range that we like to compare with. So where we are, we've got, our flagship is the Johnson Tract. It's located in a very accessible part of Alaska, and that's really key to understanding the opportunity. Where we've defined about 900,000 ounces gold equivalent in all categories at around 10 grams per ton gold equivalent. It is a polymetallic deposit, and I'll touch on that in a bit. We also have a nice portfolio of projects in Ontario in the Greater Timmins Camp, Canada's premier gold producing region. A really nice balance of portfolios and really focusing on high-grade gold. So this is actually a barge with our drills mobilizing to site this season in early June. We truck stuff to Homer. It's about 30 miles across the inlet to the project area, and we skip stuff off. And it's also a nice photo. So, the one thing that really stands out from the project are the drill intersections. We've got multiple 50, 70, 100 meter plus intersections of better than 10 grams per ton gold. There's a lot of them. But what makes it particularly unique, not just these very wide widths with high grade gold, but it comes with base metals. You could strip away the gold from any of these intersections and still be happy with the base metal numbers. Really kind of an unusual deposit, and we see a lot of opportunity to grow this, and that is our focus. On the bottom here was our most recent results. So we kicked off a drill campaign here recently and just delivered 74 meters of just under 18 grams gold with 7% zinc and 0.5% copper. Great start to the season. So our business plan, what are we doing? We do have a very, an objective here. We are targeting what we think is the ideal mineral deposit. It's very high grade and it's very thick. High grade translates to high value. Good thickness translates to low mining costs. It also means we probably have low capital costs for a project like this. So attractive economics. It's also attractive for a lot of other reasons too. These are the type of projects that have a small footprint. They're underground. The landowner here is an Alaska Native Corp. So the Alaska, Indigenous people will be beneficiaries if this project does go into production. The royalties would flow to them, which is very nice and attractive from a sustainability standpoint. And it's always nice to be operating in a first world jurisdiction where you've got the rule of law and you also got the regulations that give everyone confidence you're doing it right. This is the first major exploration program in 25 years. It was discovered in 1982, drilled into the mid-90s, and then got shelved, and really not for any good reason. And it just sat there. It kind of got forgotten about until we picked it up. Our focus now is building value. We're going to build that value by growing the resource and hopefully making some new discoveries along the way. So this is a block model of the deposit. Shown here in the dark shaded colors is the indicated resource at a 4 gram per ton gold equivalent cutoff. And this deposit, above and beyond the grade, what really makes it stand out is the continuity and the thickness. You just don't see many deposits of this grade that have a true width or true thickness of 20 to 50 meters plus. With this geometry, all of that again translates to low cost mining. And it's quite easy to access this from the valley side. So our plan right now, we got 3 drills on site. We're about halfway through our 15,000 meter minimum drill program. We should be drilling into late October, possibly later. So they say we're targeting expansion of that resource, new discoveries. There's multiple target areas, and with the delay in assay labs right now, we just finally got our first results out. I expect we'll be having results and news flow from drilling here to the end of the year and into 2021. Touching on the targets, we've got 5 principal targets that we're testing now. Those are all within a radius of sort of 300 to 800 meters from the resource itself. Includes the northeast offset, which is, we believe, the faulted continuation of the deposit at depth. There's another opportunity to the north called the North Trend. We have a footwall zone that we discovered last year, and there's also opportunities to the south. However, we also see a fair bit of opportunity to grow the resource. As we spend more time with it, we see that there is room to expand it along strike, and that's where the latest results came from. So we have sort of it's open on either side. As I say, that the depth that's kind of gets cut off and displaced by a fault, and we're focused on finding that. But in the meantime, we've got a drill dedicated on expanding the zone out on its edges. And what we see is there's a real high grade belly to this. It's thickest and highest grade gold at depth. And that's where the recent results just came out from. This is the long section that came with our news release. The red dots are the 2 new intersections. So these were filling basically just on the edge of the existing resource. So, you know, they partially infilled, but they also push out and expand that wireframe. But as much as anything, they hit significantly higher grade than the next adjacent holes. So they will both increase the grade of the surrounding resource blocks, but also support our thesis that this thing is open on the edges. And the green dots here show the holes we've completed. As I say, there's quite a lag in assays, so we'll be waiting on those and should have them out. Well, I'm not really giving any guidance on when they'll come out, but we're looking forward to get the results back from those holes. Touching on the offset, so here's just a cross section, gives you an idea of the continuity of the mineralization you see. Big fault on the right-hand side there, that's the dacite fault. It's post-mineral. That means that it came in after the mineralization. It's displaced what should be the down dip projection of the deposit. We see some of our best grade down near the deepest parts of the deposit, and it shifted it to the northeast. So we have a drill focused on testing this target right now. We've got about 4 drills into that area, or 4 holes into that area that we've put down so far out of a planned initial start with 10. But it's an exciting target, one of many. So moving to the other part of the story, you know, certainly overshadowed by Johnson, you know, due to the, you know, we haven't yet pulled 100 meters of 10 grams at, in our Ontario projects, but these are good quality projects. They're in Greenfields districts, Brownfield district with sort of a Greenfield element to them in terms of our Golden Perimeter and our Golden Mile property. Whereas our Munro Croesus, it's a higher grade. It had past production. It has veins on surface that have gone undrilled, and we'll be heading out there fairly soon. We've actually recently done some land consolidation in that area. It was fragmented from the early 1900s, back when the Munro or the Croesus mine was being mined, and it was a famous little mine for producing some of the highest grade gold in Ontario. It's part of a kilometer-long structure, and there's multiple parallel gold-bearing structures that we're focusing on. Several plus million-ounce deposits in the neighborhood. We've been slowly advancing this project and hope to see some value come out of drilling there soon, which will be in this fall here. So just to sum up, you know, our achievements. It's been a great year so far. We're not even a year old. We listed in September 23, 2019. We've done 3 successive raises, all at progressively higher levels. The last 2 were done without warrants, which is nice. You know, I think we've been able to attract some very quality shareholders in that process. Got a maiden resource out. That's just our starting point. That was to establish what we have and where we can take it. You know, it's a good quality resource. It was done well. And now we're all about making things bigger and creating value. So the catalyst going forwards, we've got the 3 drill rigs, 15,000 meter minimum. just to repeat, expanding the resource and doing exploration drilling in the surrounding areas. We also have teams working the greater property. There's a lot of other area and prospects on the property, so we're doing geophysics and soil sampling to kind of advance the next pipeline of targets. Should be starting in Timmins before the end of the month here, and stay tuned for more results. That's HighGold. Thanks so much.